Hey, Riccardo here. Today I want to show you a video on how I automated the 15 plus lead generation agencies. What are the different processes that we automated, so you can have an idea on that, and you can also apply those automation to your own business. So let me guide you through the document right now. First off, this is the document how we automated 15 different lead generation agencies across a multitude of different processes, ranging from the technical setup to the onboarding to post-call handling and other stuff like that. So first off, the most important thing is why there's the actual need to automate, and the actual goal for that for us was twofold. First off, obviously to scale the operation without having to hire as many people as needed. So that is that. And secondly, because the actual businesses who win right now in the super crowded market that is lead generation agencies are the businesses who have a brand present and have a world-class service. So we focus on improving the service to be a world-class by using a set of automation that speed up the time to value for your clients. So those are the actual two things that are important for us. Regarding tool stack, there are 4 tools that we mention over here. 2 of them do 90% of the work. Those 2 are Make.com, which is the automation platform of our choice. There are a bunch of different automation platforms that you can use. You can use Zapier, you can use N8N, you can use Public Connect, but by far for us, Make.com is the best one that we use, the one that we suggest all our clients to use. Secondly is Airtable, which is a very key component of that, which is the house of the business OS that we use. And you can think of Airtable as one of the most flexible pieces of equipment, because we can set up the tool to be a reporting tool, a project management tool, and all sorts of other different tools for that. Now, there are also these other 2 tools which are important, which is Xano, which is a no-code backend. This is on the more technical side, related to projects that involve a lot of API calls and a lot of different workflows that involve coding. So this is only related for various very advanced workflows. And the last one is Relevance AI. So everything around AI workflows can be done through that. There are also way more tutorials in the future on how we use Relevance AI and how we build out complex AI automations using Relevance. Quick disclaimer regarding the tool that we use. We mostly build out the automation using a cold email platform that is SmartLead. So a lot of the automation that you will see over here are designed for SmartLead, especially the ones for the cold from the campaign operation side of things. But keep in mind that a lot of them are interchangeable and can be applied throughout other cold email tools. You just need to check the documentation and check that all these things are available. So first part here, the most important thing is the business OS. So for us, the business OS is the central part of the system that we design for a client, and this is divided into 5 different areas that we have over here. So each of the area is around the specific part of your business that you need to operate. So there's marketing, there's delivery, sales, hiring, finance, and so on. Here, what we will do is I will not go in depth into the whole business OS ecosystem, but we will just focus on the delivery OS for the lead generation agencies. But keep in mind, if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments, and we will create a video in the future for that. So the idea of that is to create an actual system that grows over time depending on your business needs. So we can set up this system at 6 lines when you have 6 to 7 clients, and then the system can actually scale up to keep 20, 30, 40, however many clients you decide to take. So think of this system as a flexible component for your business that grows with your business needs. Here, I define a couple of the modules that we will focus on, but keep in mind that all the modules are interconnected and you can mix and match those however you see fit. So there are a couple of things that could be useful to your business. There are a couple of things that you don't want to automate as soon as possible. So those are a couple of the areas of the business that you can automate. And now we will see also all of them. Before that, I will show you how the actual delivery OS is divided in this specific case. So what we have over here is an example of a cold email scaling system that is divided with the following part. So we have three core components, which are clients, to keep all the clients into a single place, along with all the information about the clients, all the communication information, and all that kind of stuff. Campaigns, so your cold emails campaigns that are visible in a single interface. In this way, you can also perform analysis if you want to across all your channels or across a singular client, and possibly also add additional information to that, such as qualitative information and other things like that. And finally, there's email responses. So every time you receive a positive response or you receive a response, the data is managed by an inbox management system that I will show you also. Those are the three core components, but keep in mind there are also other additional components such as daily campaign data, domains, emails, ROI reporting, calls, deliverability reports, and so on. This is what I mean by having a flexible system. So in this way, you can actually have a very flexible system that can grow over time and can actually grow with you. We start off with the onboarding part, which is the first module that we automated and that we tend to automate it because the actual goal is to make sure that your client receives value in as much in the fastest way as possible. So ideally, the goal is speed up the time to value and make sure that the client get their first win as soon as possible, ideally within the first 24 hours of them signing up or them paying a contract, signing a contract, whatever the case might be for you. So this is divided into two different elements for us in general. There's one part where we when the deal is marked as won in the CRM. So when the deal is won, we send out an onboarding email with all the information about the onboarding, what are the things that are needed, and then a link to the questionnaire. The questionnaire is also another key part that we'll use for our automation, and the questionnaire will trigger the second part. So here I send out an example of an email that we send out as Uplifted Consulting with all the information, what are the things that are required and things like that. And then the onboarding questionnaire is the second part. Obviously, onboarding questionnaires need to be tailored, to your service. So here I gave a couple of examples of things that are needed and things that could be used, such as basic information, company name, contact email, offering, ICP, Slack access, onboarding call, and any kind of Slack access / tool access, we can call it. So any kind of tool is easily accessible, and with a video explaining that. Then here's an explanation of what happens here when a questionnaire is filled out. So those are the different parts that are important for the business. Here we have files and folders, communication, delivery action, and admins. Those are the 4 different areas that are key into the onboarding phase. So creating the actual folders and files, setting up the communication channels, setting up the delivery parts that are important to deliver as fast as possible the result for the client, and then finally the admin part, which is, for example, adding the client to Slack, setting up the project management tool, setting up time tracking, all that kind of stuff. So this is an example of a flow, and this is an example of an actual automation that we built out for one of our clients. And secondly, what we have over here is technical setup. So technical setup is all the part related to domain setup. Here we have a set of different automations that speed up the process of configuring DNS across the different providers that you have, so such as GoDaddy or Cloudflare, add event tracking and forwarding also. And keep in mind, this system here is designed with this two in mind, specifically GoDaddy, because you also have the possibility to buy domain directly with the automations if you wanted to. But this can also be set up for other kinds of tools, such as Porkbun or whatever tool of your choice, provided that they actually have an API access and an automated access for that. So the system here can be fully integrated into Airtable or can manage on a per client basis with a Google Sheet or something like the following. So here is an example of a Google Sheet that we use for one of our clients, where we add all the domains, add the type of setup that we want to do, and add some manual information that we need to do. So for Google, for example, you always need to add the Google verification and DKIM selector in a manual way. For Outlook, you need to add the DKIM selector in a manual way. But other than that, at the end, you just press a button and then everything is configured. So yeah, this is the setup. You check the box, ready to launch, and then you simply click a button and then the automation starts. So as I mentioned about, those are the automations. This is the automation for GoDaddy. So here we have the two different setups depending on whether you use Google or you use Outlook. And this is automatic because it gets the automation, it gets the setup type from the file itself. Here's another one that is using Cloudflare with two different parts which are automated, and another part which is like a debug part slash manual part for setting up redirects and things like that. Next up, we have campaign operations. So the idea here is after the campaigns have launched, there are a multitude of different things that you need to do to monitor those, make sure that everything is smoothly, make sure that you have the information available. So campaigns operation is a collection of various utility automation that can be used to improve your deliverability, to monitor the campaigns, or simply to simplify your life around managing the campaigns. So here I've added a couple of ones. Keep in mind there are way more than that depending on what you actually need. Here we have an auto-update warm-up identifier. So this is created to change the warm-up keys in a dynamic way every 2 weeks using ChatGPT to create the warm-up keys. Here's a setup for campaign ramp-up. This is mainly used if when you add a new campaign with emails that don't have the 2-week warm-up period, because you need to launch campaigns as fast as possible. So in this way, you add an extra layer of protection, and you created all sort of different automations and different timings for a campaign during a 5-day period. So that's that. And then here, other additional things. I will not go in depth into each one of them, but one of these last one is list warning and bounce rate warning. This is an automation that can be added directly on the reporting part, which is the next module that we will cover. And here what we do is we check daily for stats, such as how many leads are still in the campaign, how many leads are completed, and then if we have certain specific metrics, if metrics are above a certain threshold, and if that's the case, we trigger notification or we stop the campaign completely for bounce rate, for example. So here we trigger a list warning that mentioned to create a new list if you have less than 300 new leads in the campaign. or stops the campaign if the bounce rate is higher than 3%. And those are all examples that help you monitor the campaign and ensure that everything works correctly. The other component over here is the auto reporting, which is like a very huge aspect, and because really companies that are data driven and want to use data in an effective way spend countless hours exporting reports from the tool, actually adding those to Google Sheets, manage 100 different Google Sheets. Meanwhile, using Airtable, you can use one single Airtable base and look at all the campaigns in a single part. So, as I mentioned here, this is by far the most requested feature that agency asks us because it's very time consuming, and then you can look at all the campaigns at a glance and that make faster decision based on that. So here's an example of a daily campaign check that we created and a brief explanation on how this works. So let me show you the automation that we have over here. So in the automation that we have over here, we have the first part, so this part here that groups clients. So each client has a set of specific campaigns that are from them. And then in the second part over here, we divide the campaigns that we send out depending on the status of the campaign. So if a campaign is not in Airtable, it gets added into Airtable. If a campaign is active, that means we need to update that on a daily basis. If a campaign is completed, if it's completed for the first time, we update the information once. If it's completed over a past time, we don't need to update any kind of information. So this actual setup allows us to manage over 100 different clients. So a couple of the agencies that use this have a very modular system for their reporting that allows them to handle more than 100 clients with that. Then all the information is added to the business OS, and then all the information can be analyzed. So here is how the information is analyzed over here. And in this way, you can also have a look at how the information is divided over here. Then there's the part related to inbox management. So after you generate the responses, the goal is to book those responses and book those calls. So that is why the inbox manager is important, and having a single system to manage all the responses. The huge advantage of having that within Airtable is the fact that you can build that out in a dynamic way and in a flexible way, depending on what you need to add within your system. So here's an example of a system that we built out for a couple of clients. Obviously, we blurred out a couple of information over here, but what we have on one side is we have the lead list, and then we have different fields over here, such as a system to navigate between lists in a way where you can actually get an inbox zero type structure. So the goal of the inbox managers is to go through the leads, through all the leads, and then archive the leads and make sure that there are no email responses left. And then there's the part related to actions, which we will see right now. So here, as I mentioned, there's a set of actions that can be done for each lead, and here are the ones that we have. So send a lead to the client CRM. So if you integrate directly within a client CRM, you can automatically send the leads from there. Either if they are, for example, interested, or if they are if they book a call, you can send them. Then we have responding smart lead. So this opens the open smart lead, and you can respond directly within the smart lead interface. Here we had different choices because a couple of our clients want to respond within the interface itself. A couple of them want to respond within smart lead. So this changes depending on what they want. Then here we have scheduling options. So to automatically book a call directly within the interface, you can either use Calendly or Cal.com for this kind of setup, and automatic auto book within the interface, and also possibly check the calendar availability depending on the calendar that you're using an AI workflow that I will show. And then what we have over here is we can send a custom response to the client if there's something that we don't know, and we need to automatically send an email to the client asking to respond. So those are just a couple of things. Keep in mind the system can be updated and improved over time. And here we have the automation part. So for the automation, the first thing is we always start with triggering the automation from Airtable. So this is the setup that we mainly use. When a button is clicked, we run a script, and then the script sends out the actual information to make.com where we create the actual automation itself. So here are a couple of examples of different automations that we have, such as send lead to client CRM, send custom response to client, check client availability, which is probably one of the coolest one that we created. So in this way, we can actually format a response with the available times, and the times are checked from call.com, for example. So we get the week availability and then format the response. And so there's a bunch of different stuff you can do on the inbox management part. And what I did over here is I also added a video, and there's a video on my channel that goes more in depth in this kind of part. Then what we have over here is we have a part related to post-call handling. So the most important thing here is that world-class lead generation agencies not only differentiate themselves because they book more meetings, but they differentiate themselves because they want to improve on the meetings that they book, and they want to know what is the outcome of the meetings that they get. So this is why using a post-call handling is a very good way. And the overall goal of this system is to actually ask clients for feedback after a call is finished, so that they can understand if they hit the right ICP, if the client had a good impression with them, and information like that. And this is also very useful. This is an additional things that I haven't added here, but it's also useful because you can create an ROI report with the information that they give you. So, for example, if the client says that they closed a client that was booked from cold emails, you can add that as a data that you can collect for you. So this is how this mainly works. What we have over here is we have a list of the different calls. We have a start date and end date for each of the call. And when a call is finished, there's a trigger that goes on to make. And when the make trigger is created, we send out a personalized Slack message like the following: it's time to review your call with Tony, and then there's a review button here. And when the button is clicked, there's a form like the following that opens up directly to Slack. This can be done either in Slack or via email. We use Slack because some people also want to use Slack, and this can also be done in a mobile device. So if they are on their phone and want to respond and want to mention the things, they can do that directly with the phone. And once they click submit, then all the additional information is added to the code book, and you can look at that information and you can use that information later on. Last thing that I want to show you over here is auto invoicing. So this is a very important thing for some companies, especially the ones that do performance-based deals, such as paper code booked or paper interested lead. And the overall goal of this system is the following: you store all the calls for all the positive response within your table, and then once a month you run an automation like the following, where You get the leads of the specific month. You search for either positive responses or whole booked for each specific client, and then you perform a set of calculations depending on the client and depending on you to get the total amount that you need to charge, and then you create the invoice and the Slack payment link directly through the automation. So in this way, you don't need to do any kind of manual work in actually creating the invoicing. Another thing that you can also do is auto-charge the client depending on the specific amount. We prefer to do invoicing in this case, but that's definitely also an option. So here, what you can also do is you can create a custom-made PDF with the invoice, and this is an example of the invoice that you can create. And the most interesting thing about the invoice over here is the part at the bottom where you can create a dynamic list of positive responses, and these responses are actually the ones that are present within Airtable. So the client can also have a look at what you charge for. And here, also I added a video related to that. So that's pretty much it here in terms of different things that we automated. I know there are way more things, and we are adding new things every single day with different things that we created. So if you're interested in having one of these automation or the whole system built out for you, feel free to reach out to me here, book a call, or if you like to see a specific automation built out for your business, here there's a form that I will leave a link down below with a form, and you can compile the form, and that will be used later on as a content idea, so you can also have an idea, and I can create that part for you. So hope you like this video, and have a nice day. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.